friends, this is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Andy Ruiz, Oleksandr Usyk. Get this, according to Andy Ruiz, he has revealed a secret message, or a private message, should I say, concerning Oleksandr Usyk, and he states that former heavyweight champ Andy says that Usyk sent him a surprising direct message. He says, "In God's timing, we will do it. We will run it up." The revelation suggests that Usyk is quietly lining up his next opponent as contenders hover and negotiations heat up. And let me counterpunch. Andy Ruiz, he's called out AJ lately. A lot of people's called out AJ. He says we have unfinished business, as you guys already have seen the video about me talking or discussing Andy Ruiz. Now he states that Oleksandr Usyk has sent him a direct message. And I think what Usyk does, man, Usyk is like a nice dude. So because he's a nice dude, he's more of a guy that he doesn't want to let everyone down. You know what I mean? And it's like so many people want to fight him and challenge him. And for Usyk, understand, it's not really war for Usyk. It's a sport. It's a sport. He shows good sportsmanship. He looks at it as a sport, as a challenge versus anything like animosity. He doesn't look at it like that. So for guys calling him out, he doesn't look at it like, "You want to test me, no?" He doesn't look at it like that. He looks at it like, hey, it's just a sport, and I would love to share the ring with you and see how good you really are. But the question is, why would Usyk fight Andy Ruiz? What does Andy have that Usyk wants? Usyk has every belt as of right now, still to this day. And what does Andy have? Andy doesn't really have anything, man. I mean, he was once upon a time a unified heavyweight champion, and for maybe, 6 months, if that? So other than that, I mean, he hasn't really done anything else. He broke his hand against Jarrell Miller, and in a tough fight with Jarrell Miller, a conditioned Jarrell Miller. But other than that, we haven't seen him since. Failed negotiations with Wilder, and a lot of call-outs, a lot of treadmill time, a lot of that stuff. Other than that, what has Andy Ruiz done? And I'm not calling Andy a liar or nothing like that. I just think Usyk sent him that in God's timing. That means, hell, that could be whenever it happens. Doesn't mean that he's gonna fight next. Doesn't mean that he really wants to fight him anytime soon. In God's timing, that could mean anything, right? You leave it up to God. That's just like, hey, throwing a needle in a haystack, right? So that's what I think he meant by that. I don't think that he was giving him that for a next reminder or a shoulder tap. I think he was doing that just to kind of give him encouragement, like, hey, in God's time, man, we'll fight. You know what I mean? That's just a saying that people say when they don't have an answer for you. You know what I mean? Especially if you're a godly person like Usyk is, right? So, no, I don't think that'll happen. But if you look at someone like Andy, this shows you how desperate Andy Ruiz is. See, you send someone desperate a message like that, they're going to take it and run with it because they're so damn desperate, because they're so eager for a fight, especially a life-changing fight, and sometimes lightning don't strike twice in the same place. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had the opportunity with Anthony Joshua, and, that was pretty much it. Boxing is a long road. You have fighters now that make that one bad decision, and that one bad decision cost them the rest of their career damn near. You know what I mean? It takes hell for them to get back to where they were. Look at Michael Hunter. So Andy should be fortunate based on, what he was able to do in the sport, right? But he just hasn't done anything since then. And I know his expectations are high and all that stuff, but Usyk, that message, it sounds interesting, but other than that, what else does he really have? Hope. That's it. Because I don't see there's anything in this. I don't think this means much at all. I just think that's Usyk, being nice. And think of it like this. If it was a direct message from Oleksandr Usyk, what Andy ain't telling you is Andy has probably reached out to him first. So something was said to Usyk first. And that, I believe, that was a reply. You know what I mean? Because he ain't going to just say it in God's timing, we'll fight. No. Do you really believe that? No. That was something that Andy did like he's been doing. Please, Usyk, give me an opportunity. Let's fight, please. We're both godly men. So God wants us to have the opportunity so I can feed my family. I won't let you down. I'll give you a good fight, please. And then Usyk revealed or replied with that. I guarantee it. So, because there's more to that than that. If you look at that tread, that's why he didn't reveal nothing. You know what I mean? Because he knows that he's probably reached out to Usyk a gang of times. You know what I'm saying? So that's what that's about. I think that was Usyk replying with that message. Hey, in God, with God's timing, we will fight. You know what I mean? Because that's after all that damn begging that Andy was doing. That's all that really was, But other than that, that's my counterpunch on Andy Ruiz revealing a direct message from Oleksandr Usyk. You guys tell me what you think about it. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch.